Your power bill is going up $70 a month by 2028, and you didn't buy a thing. This week, the auction that sets power prices for 65 million people came back. $6.3 billion added straight onto the bills. The buyer? AI data centers. I read the report so you don't have to. Here's who's making you pay, and the one state that just said no more. I'm a heavy equipment mechanic and a volunteer firefighter, learning AI from scratch. No hype, no jargon, just what matters for guys like us. This week, the receipt, the pushback, a robot that broke into a computer network all by itself, and a free app I put on the bench. Here's how the receipt works. PJM runs the power grid for 65 million people across 13 states. Every year, they hold an auction. Think of it like pre-ordering parts for jobs you've already booked. They're buying power plant capacity for 2028 today. Well, the results came in this week, and the order came up short. Third year in a row, the grid couldn't buy enough, and when supply comes up short, you know what the price does. 2 years ago, that capacity cost $29 a unit. This auction? $329. 11 times higher in 2 years. This one auction alone put $6.3 billion onto power bills over the next 3 years. Add up the auctions since 2024 and it's $29 billion. The environmental folks at NRDC ran the math on what that means at your kitchen table. About $70 a month more for an average family by 2028. Now, the grid's own referee, FERC, remember them from episode 1? They've got every grid operator on the clock right now to rewrite the rules for these giant power users. And PJM's own market watchdog says the fix out loud: make the data centers bid in their own auction, pay their own way. We're in Canada, so those exact numbers aren't ours, but the same build-out is pressing our grids, and every province is watching this. Same compressor, same lifts, same bay lights as last year. The overhead line just gets fatter, and there's nothing new in the bay to show for it. This isn't a forecast anymore, it's a receipt. New York just told AI data centers, not on our grid. First state in the country to do it. Tuesday, the governor signed an order freezing state permits for new hyperscale data centers. That's anything drawing 50 megawatts or more, small city kind of power, for up to a year. While it's frozen, they're writing the rulebook. Who protects the ratepayers, the water, the grid itself? And here's the part I respect. They want these centers paying into a fund for the grid. And they're moving to strip their sales tax breaks too. So the biggest power users would stop riding on everyone else's bill. Whether you think that's smart policy or government stepping on progress, for the first time, somebody looked at the bill, AI ran up and sent it back to the kitchen, one state down, 49 watching. One more, and this one's for anybody with a computer in the shop office. Security researchers at SysDig documented something new this month. The first ransomware attack run start to finish by an AI. No human at the keyboard. It got in through one unpatched program facing the internet. Then the AI did the rest itself, stole passwords, worked its way through the network, hit a firewall rule that blocked it, found a way around, hit two-factor login, worked around that obstacle too. At one point, it went from a failed login to a working fix in 31 seconds. 600 pieces of malware later, everything's encrypted and there's a ransom note. Here's why that matters to a small shop. The two things that kept you safe were hacker skill and hacker time. You weren't worth an expert's afternoon. Now the expert is software, and it works for free. Your office computer, invoices, customer info, the books, is worth an AI's half a minute. 3 moves tonight, no money required. Run the updates on that office computer. That's the unpatched door they walked through. Copy your books to a drive that doesn't stay plugged in, and turn on 2-step sign-in for your email and your banking. 20 minutes of work to stop being the easy job. Speed round. The stuff the tech crowd lost their minds over this week, so you don't have to read about it. Google's big Gemini 3.5 Pro is late. They promised it back in June, and their own page still says, coming soon. The pitch is reading about 2 million words at once. A whole shelf of service manuals in one gulp. Impressive whenever it shows up. Changes nothing on your Tuesday. Anthropic put out Claude Sonnet 5, smarter and cheaper till the end of August. The tools you already use get quietly better. Nothing for you to buy. Elon renamed XAI to SpaceXAI. A logo changed. Your torque wrench didn't notice. And one that actually is your Tuesday. the world's biggest staffing firm, says trades wages are up 30% in 4 years. And Mike Rowe says he met 3 electricians in Plano, Texas, all under 30, pulling $240 to $280 a year building data centers, poached 3 times in 18 months. The machines making your power bill ugly are the same ones bidding up your trade. Tool of the week? It's called ARE. And fair warning, this thing is a full shop management system. Invoices, customers, inventory, the works. I don't own a shop, so most of that's not for me. But the repair side earned its bench time. I added my truck by the VIN, picked a brake job I've done 100 times. It gave me the labor hours, the parts and pricing, then step-by-step instructions for my truck, not a generic truck, mine. There's an assistant built right into the instructions, so I set a trap, asked for the torque specs on the caliper bracket bolts. It gave me everything, right down to the service notes from GM. One catch. The written guide and that assistant gave 2 different numbers on the caliper guide pins. Looked like somebody pasted the metric number with the wrong units. The assistant had it right, which is exactly the lesson. Whatever any AI tells you, torque specs get checked against the book before you wrench. Price? Free. Never asked for my card. Make an account, verify your email, you're in. The full shop side runs on a trial meter, and wiring diagrams are their paid tier, but everything I showed you cost nothing. Verdict? Amazing app. If I ran a shop, I'd use the whole thing. I don't. And it's staying on my phone anyway, just for the repair features. That's the week. The one to sit with. Episode 1. I told you your power bill was standing in AI's blast radius. This week the receipt landed, and New York sent theirs back. That story is not done. The grid operators owe FERC their homework in the next few weeks, and if another state follows New York, you'll hear it here first. Quick honesty note, the voice tool I use to make these videos, 11 Labs, has an affiliate link in the description. If you sign up through it, the channel earns a few bucks, costs you nothing, and I'd use the tool either way. If you want AI news cut down to what it costs you and what it pays you, hit subscribe. And the newsletter puts this in your inbox so you're not digging through 16 tech blogs. I do the digging, you get the parts that matter. See you next week.